It's Wednesday, June 21st, 2017, and it's time for WorthPoint Chats with Harry Rinker. I'm Greg Watkins with WorthPoint.com, and every Wednesday we have a conversation with Harry Rinker, our expert on antiques and collectibles. And how are we doing today, Harry?
Well, I'm still in the midst of the great adventure down here in Florida, but we're making progress. The cabinets, which were due 10 days ago, arrived today.
Well, hooray.
Well, yes, thank you very much. I should have a drink too. Well, here, I'll get my trusty Disney mug here and go cheers and Robux and so forth. And they're partially installed. They're going to get the install done tomorrow. And then hopefully if the lady that has to measure the countertops comes by tomorrow, we may have the countertops next Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday. Then they have to set for a day. Then the plumber can come in and hook them up. And then we can maybe have the finishing touches that can be done by Friday a week. Now, that's like if you believe in miracles.
Well, with contractors, you can't believe.
No, you don't.
Most anything.
Contractors,
you're at your
miracles. Today with everything, it's almost like being in a production line with on-demand inventory. Yes. They don't order anything in advance, and so if the company gets backed up, why, too bad for your order. But hey, the refrigerator is hooked up. I'm living in the refrigerator. The stove is hooked up, but the microwave, which I had on the card table the last few days, is not hooked up. That will get hooked up tomorrow. So tomorrow I will be able to exist, mind you, in the kitchen, but no water for another week. No sink or water for another week. Yes. It has been fun living out of the guest bathroom sink for 4 weeks. No, I don't mean to. No, I have a shower too. So and it's not like
we understand that, but still, you're having to run water back and forth to the kitchen. That's a pain.
It is. Yes, that is one word to describe it. Pain would work. But anyway, we're going to do something different tonight. Rather than my expound, as I often do, because I actually have some subjects to expound upon. But we'll do those next week. I thought it'd be fun just to spend a whole session talking about goodies, because
Yes.
we used to get 2 goodies done every show, and now we get 1 if we're lucky. Maybe every once in a while we get 2. But this is called the Goodies Show. In other words, there's enough images in our data bank that I feel safe chewing up a bunch of them.
Yeah. Actually, I thought you were going to weigh in on the Mattel's new release of the 15 new Ken dolls today.
No, I don't know about that. When did that happen?
Oh yeah, today.
And
they released.
Okay. Now we know Barbie is coming in all shapes and sizes these days. Pray tell, what did they do to Ken?
They released 10 of the 15. He's coming in 3 different body types.
Oh, goody.
Broad, normal, and slender, I think. And they have, again, the different skin colors and different hairstyles.
Well, they're not doing gay and straight, are they?
Well, it depends on, you look at them and you have to wonder. But there's one of these dolls, and you're going to love this. He's got a man bun.
Well, it's about time. That's why Barbie and G.I. Joe, you know that story about why Barbie and G.I. Joe never got married?
Well,
because he didn't have the right equipment?
That's right, yes. I was trying to figure out a nice way to say that.
Yes, but we're finally getting Ken manned up, as we would say.
Well, a man, you know what a man bun is?
Oh, okay. We're not talking about the part I thought we were.
No. A man bun is where you take your long hair and you wrap it up and make a bun like a woman would have.
Here's to that. Let's get Ken equipped here.
Well, that might sell better.
What's missing on Barbie? Well, I could tell you, but this is a family show, so we're not going there. But anyway.
Right. Well, we did talk about the Joey Stevick doll, didn't we?
Yes, of course we did. I had one in my collection for a while.
Anatomically correct, that one is.
Anatomically correct. Good God, Archie Bunker, God bless them all. Somebody got smart and did that. And I don't, if every other doll is anatomically correct, what's wrong with Ben dolls being anatomically correct? I mean,
know. Maybe that would solve the or
they could offer
end the depression in the
it could be a collectible
doll industry.
You could buy extenders. You could have an extender app or accessory or something. Well, I think we better get off the subject here. No, I didn't know about the cat doll, but since you brought it up, rest assured I will be checking it out and commenting on it in the future. Well, actually, no, it's a good thing because I was going to write a Rinker on Collectibles columns about the Barbie's new body image, and it kept putting off and putting it off. But now that Ken has a new body image, I can combine the two into one column and explain why nobody should bother to buy that crap anymore.
That's
from
right.
my humble opinion. Well, but you know what they've done to collect? No, wait a minute. This is a. I said we weren't going to do this, but you started this, you son of a gun. Anyway, this is manufacturers going mad. They have no regard anymore for collectors. Because what do? You have to collect all 14 of them. Okay, so instead of buying one, you got to buy 14. Then they have different colors and different hairstyles and the whole shoot. And, big. Gosh, I can't even do this right. Big, medium, and small. We won't go in terms of their chest, of course. You could have a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, well, tell you that. You've got what, about 2,000 words to work with?
Yes, I do, and I can use every one of them actually till I'm done. Anyway, enough of this. The whole purpose of today is to look at objects, and I've selected a number of objects that people have written us about because they have some interesting characteristics, and this is the first one, right? Now, you look at this, and what do you immediately think of?
Well, it's carnival glass.
Carnival glass, right, exactly. And we know, for example, that carnival glass really was given away at carnivals, which is supposedly how it's got its name, but the greater bulk of it was sold in department stores as regular household glassware. Carnival glass is really iridescent glassware, and it had two primary colors, two main colors, although it came in many different colors. One was called marigold, and that's what this is. And the other one was called a dark or amethyst, okay? And this is clearly marigold, and carnival glass got its name because it's iridescent glass. That means it has a coating on it that kind of has muddled colors, like you drop oil in a water puddle or something. So if you were trying to identify this, okay, and you say, okay, I have this piece of carnival glass. I want to know who made it, when it was made, and what can we know about it. Anything strike you interesting about it? Hello?
Well, at first, when you first sent it over, I thought it was a tall glass, but it looks more like a vase now that I'm looking at it.
Well, okay. You know what? That's a good point. It could be a vase, okay? That it could be. Yeah, we wish people would send in, when they send in pictures to us, I wish the heck they would send them in with markings on it. All right, let's assume no, because it's held in the person's fingers. See the fingers, or you think it's resting on her knees?
I think those are knees.
I think it's resting. Yeah. I hate to think it was resting on some other part of her anatomy.
Yeah, no, I think they're knees.
Go there. So if that's resting on her knees, yeah, it could be a good size, medium-sized vase. But what else is interesting about it? It's not,
okay. So I don't know much about carnival glass, but I see that there's a seam on it.
Well, it's molded, and
okay.
And carnival glass is pressed glass, and it could have a seam on it. It's not a form you're accustomed to seeing in carnival glass in America.
Okay.
And that's the whole reason I wanted to talk about this. Piece of space isn't American; it's English. And the inquiry actually came from a woman in England who asked if I could identify the pattern. Now, the problem with all of this, okay, there you can see some of the iridescent in the glass too. Nice pressing job, actually, for the piece. The problem with this is very simple. When Americans think of anything, they're nationalists in the way they view things. They think, well, carnival glass, depression glass, it's all made in the good old USA, and so they whip out their American books. Well, back in 2000, I went down to Australia to participate in an antique show that Carter was running. Carter is one of the leading antiques collectibles price guides in there, and I got involved with a collector of Australian-made carnival glass, and I actually was invited to the home of this collector, and all of a sudden I'm seeing tons of patterns I've never seen before because they were made and pressed in Australia. And then as I've been working on the WorthPoint intros on stuff, it became evident too that there were Canadian glass companies that did carnival and depression glass. There were English companies. There were a lot of companies that did this type of thing. And so, okay, so now here you have this piece of carnival glass, and all we know about it is that it's marigold in color in English, could be a vase, probably from the 1920s. I mean, I don't like it in the post-World War II period. I like it in the period between the 1920s and 1930s. The depth of the impression and the quality of the piece suggests that. But the question is, where do you find information on English carnival glass? Now you could try the Worthopedia, because you do get some foreign results in there, but I did not try this, to be honest with you. But if you type in English carnival glass, and hoping there's no pattern called English anywhere, I wonder if you're going to pick up any patterns from England or not. I think if you type in Canadian, you might find some, but we don't seem to be getting very much, right?
Well, I'm going to move to the glass category here.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah,
that will help a little bit.
Not by much. It doesn't seem to help. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I don't see anything that remotely looks like carnival glass there, right? No. And this
well, here's something, but
yeah, but that's a carnival.
Waterford's coming up. It's probably coming up because of the English.
It's English glass, yeah. So the situation is, what do you advise the person? Well, you tell the person, first of all, that if this thing is in the United States, the first thing is it has no value, because of the fact that nobody in America cares about English carnival glass. Probably in England, doesn't have much value either, not more than a couple of pounds at best, maybe 2 or 3 pounds, maybe a little bit more, because I've never seen a reference book to English carnival glass. So there are reference books to Canadian carnival glass and to Australian carnival glass, but not really. Now, I suppose what I could have done is gone to ebay.co.uk, I think is English eBay, right?
Right.
And looked up carnival glass on that site to see if I could have found anything being sold over there. If everyone has to remember that ebay.com is nothing more than the American eBay. I mean, there are 26 or 27 eBays, and ebay.ca is Canadian eBay, and ebay.au is Austrian eBay. ebay.co.au is Australian eBay, and ebay.co.uk is the English eBay. So, it's one of those things where, before you drive yourself nuts, I mean, if you went up to a site there and tried to find that thing, you'd go crazy. But fortunately, the woman that wrote me said this was acquired in England. Now, while we're on carnival glass, I want to deal with another subject. I got an interesting email from Harry Majors down in Harbor Springs, Arkansas. He said, I have a Fenton carnival glass glass pitcher, P-I-C-T-U-R. I know he has a pitcher, P-I-T-C-H-E-R, but we won't go there. Marigold color and 10 mums. Did they make tumblers to this pattern, or where could I find them? Well, first of all, if you know the name of the pattern, the place to go is www.ddoty.com, ddoty.com, www.ddoty.com. It is by far the best site. Well, I went up there and I clicked on, and it's by pattern, so I clicked on 10 mums, and sure enough, I found the fact that there were tumblers. And not only were there tumblers, they came in what we call blue, which is dark, marigold, and white. And there was a whole series of things in there. There was a water pitcher, there was ruffled bowls, there were bowls, there was a chop plate, there was a candy ribbon edge bowl, all in the same pattern. So now the thing is that for Mr. Majors, where we've identified that for him, what he's going to have to do is start spreading the word that he needs stuff out there. Are you putting this up to suggest I should stop talking about this thing and move on?
No.
Hello?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
All right. Well, I wonder why you put the signal thing up right away.
Oh,
all right. Well, maybe you thought I was done, and I am done. So that being done,
actually, I forgot that the thumbnail shows up at the bottom of the screen. I was just queuing it up for the next round.
All right. Well, all right. So there's some things, but another question that came in is a guy had a United States signal corps World War II Morse code training device. And here you can see it folds up into a case, and there are 10 Morse code keys, and then there's that rather elaborate looking device. And so when the Signal Corps was training soldiers to transmit in Morse code, they put this together. I think we have a couple of other pictures of it too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's just look at a couple of the other ones. I mean, he was very kind. Here you can see, I mean, you don't have to be a genius to figure this one out. Code training set AN/GSC-TIA. And if you throw that into the internet or whatever, you'll pick up all kinds of information about it. Now, the interesting thing about this set was the fact that this company that made it was not the only company. There you see it's Taft Radio and something, television company out of Philadelphia made this. But apparently there were at least 3 or 4 other contractors that built similar kits. And there you can see it all together as a kit. And the guy wants to know, hey, what's this worth? So, every once in a while when you're trying to figure out what something is worth, right?
Right.
You need to ask the question is, who the heck wants one? Because, hey, it could be a neat thing, and this is certainly a neat thing, but if there's nobody that wants it, what's it worth? Well, you found some examples here, right?
Right. So there are 52 examples under Signal Corps Code Training Set.
Okay.
And that's in all categories, though. So we're getting some other kind of signals, like a railroad signal. And
there's one there, Core Training Set up the top, but that didn't have 10 units. It had a fewer number of units.
This one here.
But there's one that had 10 units.
Yes. This looks like it's pretty much the same thing.
And it sold for about $200.
$200 last February.
Yeah, well, so he knows if he throws it up on eBay, he gets $200. But the way to sell this thing, which you would think it would be worth a lot more than that, but I mean, I think the guy that they got it for $200 paid probably top dollar for it, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think the thing about it is that the only way you can sell this is you've got to go to military reenactors, World War II military reenactors. And there's a lot of World War II reenacting groups, and there are a lot of World War II reenactment signal corps groups, and maybe, you can find one of those guys in there. Now, here's one. Now, see, look at the diversity of this, right? We saw the one for $200, right? Here's one for, what was it? What was the 51. Price there? $51 back in 2015. Now, it didn't gain $150 in 2 years. What happened was, when this one came up on the air, there was nobody else that was that interested in it. And then the week that this was on for sale, it was there. But when the other one went up for sale, there must have been at least 2 or 3 bidders that were interested enough, and they drove the price up. And that's one of the things about when you're trying to interpret eBay prices. What you have to understand is those are momentary prices, and if the bidders change in a week or the next time the piece comes up, there could be fewer bidders, or there could be more bidders and more active bidders, and the price can jump all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay?
So this one had 7 of the 10.
I don't think that makes that much difference. I mean, I think $200 is probably maybe an okay price if you get the right group of people that want it. But I think if someone said, here's $100, that's fine. And we can only hope to gosh, you didn't pay more than $25 or $50 for it if you bought it. But that's the kind of thing you go to a flea market or you go to a sale and you see it and the guy has $150, $200 on it. You say, gosh, it has to be worth more than that. No, it does not have to be worth more than that. Because there can't be 25 people in the whole country that would want one of those, right? What is that?
Well, this is the same thing, but it doesn't have any of the Morse keypads. and it says it sold for $1,500.
His life interesting, right? That's good.
Yeah.
The guy wrote extremely rare in the description. What does he know? We already know that.
He knows he's going to get $1,500 if he gets the right sucker.
I should say. Well, you know what? What point can we make of this? We see one for $1,500, one for $200, and one for $51, right? All in the course of 2 years. First of all, you shouldn't always bid on the first one you see, especially if you think the price is ridiculous. That's a good rule for going on eBay. And two, comparison shopping is critical to saving money on eBay. Seriously, it is. And if you're not prepared to comparison shop, if you're not willing to be patient, this is one of these problems. I need one now. And obviously some idiot needed, maybe, well, two idiots if they drove the price up to that rate. Two idiots must. Now, I wonder about this one. See, I wonder if this is one of those cases on eBay where this was this amount or a best buy and somebody offered him considerably less, because unfortunately when best buy items get sold or best offer gets sold, the eBay sends in the initial list price, not the price it brought. I wonder if that's what happened here. It could very well have.
It could be. I just don't know.
Well, and that's again why you have to be real careful. And one of the reasons why we have WorthPoint, because we see a lot of different things. I did run the instruction book on that thing. There's a number of instruction books for that unit up on there, and they sell for about $20, $30. But enough of that. All right.
Well, individual Morse code pads they're getting $40 or more.
Well, now wait a minute.
But
yeah,
I don't know if they're exactly the same.
Wait, though. But those are different. Those are different than the training set units, I think. Those are actual code things. And those things, telegraph signal codes, keys are a huge collectible. In fact, Schiffer Publishing just did a whole book on telegraph keys and Morse code keys. And there's the collectors that love that stuff, the ham radio boys and stuff. I mean, there is a big secondary market in that stuff. But we won't dwell on that, because we've only gone through 2 items so far, and we're only minutes left. So let's go to the next item here on the all item list thing. And here is Brother George. All right, now let me take a moment here and dig out the letter that came with that. Now this is a what's called a bronze profile plaque of George Washington, and you can see that the guy put a ruler in, so you take a, well, I don't know if the inch lines up with George's nose or not, but it's about 8 or 9 inches across there. You can see that, right?
Yeah, I would say about 8 inches.
Yeah, and he wrote in and he speculated a little bit that he wanted to know, first of all, was this thing originally mounted on a brass, on a wood base? And when you first see it, you would think, yes, it's absolutely true. It probably was. But the answer is no, it was not, because I did some homework on it. And no, it was not mounted on a brass base. And so as a result, why it is what it is. The question is, when was it done? Unfortunately, it's not dated, but I would suspect it was done in the 20s or 30s. Now, the other possibility, because pressed brass was a popular wall hanging device in the 50s, it could be as late as the 50s, all right? And here's what he said here. I have a solid brass casting. Now, I don't think it's solid brass, first of all. I think it's copper, but it's been in my family before I was born, and I'm 73, so that gets it back to the 20s and 30s in there. All right, now, I found a bunch of them around there. Found one that sold on June the 12th, 2017, $55 plus $12 shipping from Dallas, Texas. Did you look this up on Worthopedia? Just type in George Washington profile bust. And none of the things I found is there. While you're looking that up, there is you know what? There's an interesting website that I wind up occasionally. Well, we're not doing too well with George's bust there.
Is it copper?
You got to get rid of the coins. You got to get metal or something in there, and then best match. If you put metals or coins, you get all that stuff. You got to get in your thing there and do it in metals as opposed to coins and stuff. There you go. And poor George doesn't come up at all there. No, all right. Well, okay. But there is a website I encounter from time to time, and due to my unfortunate thing, I copied it, but I didn't copy the website down. Anyway, he records that one that sold for that, but then he has, it's Pick Click exclusive or Pick Click or something like that website. He says the average price is about $75, the low $55, the high $95, and whatever. Now, it's one of those things where, poor George, we used to get off for George Washington's birthday when we went to school, right? Nobody gives a hoot about. Oh, no, wait a minute. Now, there's one. Look at that. That's interesting. What did they get for George's profile plaque there? But that's a little bit different because it's got some writing on the bottom and stuff.
Yeah, $20.
Oh, $20. Well, they did worse than the $55. Poor George. Who wants George anymore? It's a sad state of affairs when George brings $20. And here it is, the 4th of July holiday coming up. George should be selling for a lot better than that.
You would think.
But realistically, $25, $35 is probably a fair price. $55, in my opinion, is high, especially if you're paying shipping on top of that. But nevertheless, there it is. Well, I think we're going to get to a fourth item today. This life is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that one. We're going to skip to item number, the mirror. We'll do that. I have too much to say about that for 5 minutes. Now, when I saw this picture, I'm thinking, what a strange mirror. It's got a hook in the middle of it for a towel.
and then
I realized the mirror is reflecting the hanger to the right, which you can only see a part of. So this is an oval bathroom mirror from the 1920s again. And the question is, what kind of value does it have? Well, it has reuse value. I mean, a mirror is first and foremost always a mirror. But this one is a fun mirror because in the 1920s, these oval mirrors were very popular in bathrooms, and they had cut working on the side of the mirror. This one, like a bellflower, an abstract bellflower, is very lovely, I think, actually. And so if you're looking for a decorative accent piece, whether you use it in the bathroom or you use it in an entrance hall above a table, I mean, it's a classy little mirror. I don't know if you put it in the front room or bedroom, but you would certainly use it in the bathroom. And so now we come into value. What's its decorator value versus what is its reuse value? Well, reuse value means that you're going to use it for what it was originally intended for, which was essentially a mirror.
A mirror, right.
That being the case, you're probably looking at $15 to $20. On the other hand, if you're using it for decorative purpose, you're doing a bathroom in the 1920s, or you're doing whatever, then I think it has a higher value. I actually like it $35 to $45. That's pushing it, but not from a decorator value, I don't think. And furthermore, this is another one of those cases where it's worth one price in the big city and the big metropolitan areas, and it's worth another side in the countryside. I hate to say it, that I think countryside people have more sense, but the truth of the matter is a big city person is going to pay more for this. It'll fit better in a smaller bathroom, which is common in some of the bigger cities, especially if it's an apartment living. But it's a fun little piece, and this is the kind of thing that it's not an easy sell, but you throw it in Craigslist, and my guess is you're going to get a bite or something for all of this. Well, here's the good news. We got through 4 objects this week.
That's right.
The bad news is we got through 4 objects and we need more stuff. So we want you to send us your objects. What would you like us to talk about on the air? And we want you to do this not when we're on the air, but when we're off the air, so I can do some research work and see what I can find. The place to send them is community@worthpoint.com. community@worthpoint.com. You can, if you want to, mention in your mail that this is an item that you're sending in for WorthPoint Chats with Harry Rinker. when you send them in, we need you to be as descriptive as possible. Size is very important to us so we can see that. Markings, the history, if you bought it, what did you pay for it? Photographs, biggest help of all. And I do want to thank all the people that sent stuff in. We're getting anywhere from, well, occasionally we get one photograph, but we usually get 3 or 4 or more photographs. And that's a big help to us in terms of being able to identify all of this stuff. Well, we maybe gave a little hint of what we'll talk about next week, because that covered box, we will definitely have on the agenda for next week, because I like that box and there's a lot we can talk about that as well. I will challenge you, Greg, in the interim to take a look at those pictures and tell me, is the box American or not?
Okay.
No, but that's good. And
I'll give it a look.
If you can find an example exactly like that on WorthPoint, man, I'm going to give up doing this, Chats, and I'll let you do it for the rest of the time.
Okay.
All right. Well, by next week at the same time, one of 2 things will happen. I will be either totally frustrated because the tops of the cabinets are not in yet in place, or I will be extremely joyous because the tops are in and glued down. And then the following day, I will have the sinks will be installed, the dishwasher will be installed, and I will have running water throughout the condo. So if I got my head held high next week, it's a good sign. And if I'm depressed and slumping in my chair, you'll know what the situation is.
Okay. We'll be on the lookout for your body language.
Okay. Take care, my friend.
All right. Well, until next week, Harry, we'll say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have a good week.
You bet.